Welcome back to my channel. Today is Monday, May 24th, 2021. My name is Aubrey, and this is my astrological outlook for the day. And as you can see, I am in a new location. I'm out of town this week, so I have set up shop here at my best friend's house so I can still get these videos done. So this is where I will be filming for the week. Now let's talk about astrology. And it's a really crazy week, you guys. I can't really even honestly stress the significance of the window that we're transitioning through this week and what is coming, and more importantly though, what we're letting go of and what we're moving on from this week as we move into this super moon blood full lunar eclipse in Sagittarius and Gemini that is happening on the 26th. It is going to be dynamic. It is going to be the end of an era, the end of karmic loops, the end of really serious cycles of time, and things that have been going on for a long period of time are going to be culminating and coming to an end with this energy, and then new things are going to be starting in order to replace it. So we have a really big week. It's a very transitional period. We have a lot going on, but today we're really kind of sort of in the calm before the storm. This is happening on Wednesday, the day of the eclipse. And so today we actually have some rather nice energy. The sun is at 4 degrees of Gemini today, which is the Sabian symbol holly and mistletoe, reawaken old memories of Christmas. And the earth is at 4 degrees of Sagittarius. The sun and the earth are always in polar opposition to each other. And 4 degrees of Sagittarius is a little child learning to walk. So we have a very encouraging and exciting and optimistic and kind of like inspiring energy today overall being discharged by the sun. This is also emphasized by the moon today, and the moon is in Scorpio, even though today, with the moon being in Scorpio, is a black moon day, because the black moon, our shadow side, our subconscious, the things that our subconscious programming, what's deep inside of us that kind of causes us to act and behave in certain ways that we might not be completely aware of. It kind of controls and dictates our behavior based on subconscious issues and shadow side issues that we aren't aware of, but play a role in basically the whole entire way that our psyche operates. The black moon is a big thing that I talk about a lot, but when the moon goes into either the sign that the black moon is in or the sign that's opposite the black moon, like today, the moon is in Scorpio, the black moon is in Taurus, it's called a black moon day, and it's just usually a day where there's more of a heavier energy, and it can kind of cause things to trigger our issues, the things that bother us, more emotional, more like emotionally driven, and it's usually because of that programming, those subconscious issues, the shadow side issues that we aren't totally aware of. And in Taurus and Scorpio, that usually surrounds around fears of loss, especially in regards to comfort, security, resources, relationships, love, money, stuff like that. So we do have that going on today, but that being said, the moon also in the early degrees of Scorpio will be forming a trine to Jupiter, who is also in the early degrees of Pisces right now. Scorpio is a water sign, Pisces is a water sign. When a planet's in an early degree of Scorpio and an early degree of Pisces, it means that they are in a trine, which is an aspect of ease. It's an energy that works really well together. It's a very facilitating and helpful energy. And so the moon and Jupiter are working together today, and generally this makes people feel more generous and optimistic and altruistic, generally just kind of more inspired and in a better mood, which goes along with the degrees of the sun and the earth today. Also, to emphasize that point even more, we have Mars coming into a trine with Neptune this week, and this will be in an energetic that's in effect all week, because as of right now, Mars is at 20 degrees of Cancer, and Neptune is at 23 degrees of Pisces. And so with Mars in aspect to Neptune, this is like Generally more, it eases Mars's aggression a little bit, and it has a tendency to make us associate more with like the spiritual side of our personality and ourselves, as opposed to the ego side of ourselves. So with the Mars trining Neptune, and this is going to be in effect, like I said, all week, we will have this going on alongside the eclipse and all the other energies that are playing out. And I think this will really generally be helpful and be a good thing, because it will sort of take people out of their ego and make them more introspected and more connected to their higher self as we go through this time. And it's going to be a very confusing and a very enlightening, but kind of almost like mesmerizing time. And so with Mars in a trine to Neptune, that it basically activates the more spiritual nature of people. And like I said, it's less ego driven and makes people feel more altruistic, searching for meaning in the universe generally more. And I find that this is fascinating to have alongside of the other energy that we have going on this week, that is going to be really helping us to release things that we've been in for a very long period of time and step forward into something completely new and different. And with the Mars and the Neptune trine going on alongside of it, it's going to help people be more able to see the bigger picture of things and less focused specifically on themselves, which will be beneficial considering all of the changes that we have going on and that are really about to start kicking in. So really today, moving into this week, getting this week started, we do have some really positive and optimistic and generous and altruistic giving, energy. And I think that this also has to do with the fact that we're now in Gemini season. People are talking more, people are out and about, people are busy, people are communicating again, people are going back and forth and socializing more. And I think that after especially such a long period of time of being so restricted, that it's inspiring people to just feel more generous and hopeful and optimistic and happy. And we're starting the week on a pretty positive note in that regard. And just generally people feeling excited about life again is sort of how I see this day as we move into this week. Next, there's another side to this story going on this week though, and that has to do with Saturn and Uranus. Saturn stationed retrograde yesterday. Saturn stationing retrograde basically means we are all looking at where we're at now and where we want to be and what we have to do to get there. And we're really looking at the things that we've been working on, the things that we've been forming, the things that we've been building, putting together and working towards over the past 6 months, specifically since around the time of January. Whatever we've been really putting our energy into and focusing on and working hard on since that point up until now. Now with Saturn retrograde, we're really going to be reevaluating, going back and looking at it again and seeing what needs to be fixed if we're on the course that we're trying to be on. Going back and, like I said, looking at where we are now, where we want to be, and what we need to do in order to get there is this all Saturn retrogrades, but that is really what is going on with the Saturn retrograding right now. But there's another side to this, because all year, ever since, and this also came exact last winter, in the end of February, we had our first Uranus-Saturn exact square. And now today, we have Saturn stationing retrograde at 14 degrees of Aquarius, and we have Uranus just changed degrees, still going direct to 13 degrees of Taurus. So up until now, the planets have been moving apart in their aspect, in their square, creating a bit of an orb to ease the tension, ease the pressure, ease the conflict, ease the tension in between them. But now with Saturn moving backwards and Uranus still moving forwards, they're coming into that square again. And Uranus, and this is going to be, Saturn is authority in karma, and Uranus is freedom, ultimately, is what Uranus rules and represents and stands for, and authenticity. So there's this entire year and moving through 2022, there's this ongoing theme of just a conflict and a tension between freedom and authenticity and restriction and authority. And we've all seen this. We've seen how this has played out this year. It's very apparent in just the context of the world, that dynamic of freedom and authenticity, going up against restriction and authority. And it's been a major theme, and this is going to be becoming more prominent again as Saturn goes through the retrograde and Uranus progresses forward. And the degree that Uranus just moved to, and remember, Uranus is quite a slow moving planet, so it stays at a degree for a few weeks. So when it moves a degree, it's a definite shift in energetics. And Uranus just moved to 13 degrees of Taurus, which is the energetic of a porter carrying a mountain of heavy baggage. So we know that the next few weeks, our quest for freedom, our quest for authenticity is going to come with a heavy price tag or a heavy burden. It's going to be, and with Saturn retrograde also, Saturn makes things heavy. Saturn's a more oppressive energy. It weighs things down, it holds things down, it holds things back, especially going retrograde. So there is just this heaviness being spoken about by Uranus in its square to Saturn, as well as Saturn in and of Saturn itself. So we do have this square going on with Saturn going retrograde, Uranus. Just, there is going to be a lot of information coming out over this week with this eclipse, a lot. And it's going to be, or maybe not this week, but from the eclipse moving forward. And it's going to be really just mind-blowing and confusing. And there's going to be a lot of disinformation that is hidden within the actual truth and the actual fact and the legitimate hidden information that's coming out. And it's just going to make things very confusing, and it's going to take us a while to sort of wrap our head around everything that starts making its way to the surface and being discussed and being talked about, and sorting through what's real and what's not real. And there's also, because there will be a square, and there is a square, but Mercury is also stationing retrograde this week, and he'll be stationing retrograde in square to Neptune while in Gemini, with the Sun in Gemini and the nodes in Gemini and this eclipse in Gemini and Venus in Gemini. And Jupiter and Neptune are both in Pisces, and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces and Jupiter is the classic ruler of Pisces. So and it's Pisces. Pisces is illusory, and it can bring delusion and hypnosis and being like mesmerized in something. So there's a lot of information that is about to start coming out, and we know it's information because it's Gemini. It's lots and lots of different information and perspective, and people saying different things through the media, through the social media, messages coming through, things going back and forth. But then it's all colored through this really watery lens that we can't see clearly. And so many people are going to be projecting so many different versions of reality. It could become very difficult to really figure out who's telling the truth and who's being honest and what's really going on. So staying grounded during this time is very important. We have a lot of energy in Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. It's very like flighty and fast-paced and hard to pin down, and staying grounded during this time, being outside and really trying to stay, rooted in our gut instinct of things will be very helpful, because it's going to become very, very difficult to rely on and to trust the information that's coming through, especially from official sources, okay? And that also is because Saturn is going retrograde, and we have the square between Uranus and Saturn. And all of this is going on in the midst of this massive eclipse that we have coming up this week, total lunar eclipse, blood moon, super close to the earth, very increased, enhanced energies alongside the eclipse that's closing the window on something and moving us forward into a whole new cycle. This is a very karmic week. A lot of things that have been going on for a very long period of time are going to be wrapping up, and I will talk all about this as we progress through the week. The astrology is just super wild. I'm actually really excited to be like an astrologer right now and be able to talk about this because it's a big deal. But for today, we do have a jolly day with holly and mistletoe to reawaken the old memories of Christmas, and we have that beautiful moon Jupiter aspect, and we have Mars in trine to Neptune, really just bringing us into our altruism and more of our spiritual nature and our higher self, kind of distancing us a little bit from the ego as we start this week. And I think that that is part of our transitional process into releasing and to letting go of what we need to do with the eclipse so that we can open to the North Node, into what is coming to us now. And it is just going to be an interesting week, especially since the gap is closing again now between Uranus and Saturn, just to add the cherry on top of it all. And Mercury going retrograde at the end of this week as well, and Saturn going retrograde. So it's just a busy week. So that's my video for today. I hope that you got something of value and significance for you out of it. If you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and leave me comments. I absolutely love your comments, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow as we approach one day closer to this major eclipse that we have going on this week, and the end of one thing and the start of something brand new. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.